Welcome everyone. I'm excited to introduce you to the SG Central, our new comprehensive solution designed to help you manage your Service Graph connectors. I'm Shanay, Inbound Product Manager in ServiceNow. Along with me is Anvesh Mantri, Senior Software Engineer at ServiceNow. We'll also touch on some best practices to help you get the most value out of this product right from the start. And of course, we'll wrap things up with a live demo so you can see SG Central in action. SG Central provides the modern unified console for managing the entire lifecycle of Service Graph connectors from installation and configuration to debugging. Its centralized and intuitive user interface not only enhances your experience but also provides complete visibility into the health and statuses of your connectors. This is crucial for maintaining operational efficiency and minimizing integration issues. We have already seen great feedback from our early adopters. They have highlighted the ease of monitoring and managing connectors from a single dashboard. They particularly appreciate the simplified setup process and the ability to quickly assess connection statuses and key metrics. Let's dive into some key features. With SG Central, you now have a consolidated status view. You can easily check the current state of each connection to identify issues like incorrect credentials or connectivity problems. You can also see the outcome of the most recent processing runs along with the activated schedules and a summary of any errors. And you can monitor ongoing execution with the processing start times, helping detect potential performance issues or any stalled import jobs in real time. Setting up connectors is now simpler than ever with our new playbook experience. You can create connections directly from the dashboard or the All Connections page using the Create Connection button. You can also resume setup for any draft connections right from where you left off. SG Central currently supports connection creation for all connectors mentioned in our product documentation. For the other connectors that are not supported, you will be guided to the old guided setup view from here. SG Central also provides robust data ingestion and processing metrics. You can track import sets, import rows, CIs, and partial records imported into the CMDB through connectors over the past 7 days. You can also apply dashboard filters to narrow down or track metrics for a specific connector over a specific period of time. You can gain deeper insights with our data processing and performance trends. You can check daily trends for CIs that were added, updated, and any data processing errors that occurred during the data import process based on your selected filters. You can also see the top 10 connections by the latest import set processing time. SG Central allows you to view and edit all installed connections. You can resume setup for draft connections right from where you left off, modify system properties for specific connectors, and update or execute import schedules as needed. You can now identify and fix errors with SG Central. You can check for all errors related to Service Graph connector executions in the Errors tab of a connection record, and then fix those errors by following the suggestion provided by Now Assist. SG Central allows you to view installed connectors with new updates available, see which connectors are already installed on your instance, view the list of connectors which are not currently installed in your instance but you have the required license to install and use it. For more in-depth information, please refer to our additional resources. We have a community article on SG Central best practices and FAQs, an overview video on our YouTube channel, and a detailed product documentation on managing connections in the SGC Central. Now I'll pass on to my colleague to walk you through the product with a live demo.
Anvesh. Yeah, so in this, I'll give a demo of the SGC Central. So SGC Central is another application which we have to install. Um, so once the application is installed, SGC Central is installed, we can see that it gets added into a CMDB workspace. The users who is able to access the SGC Central is admin as well as CMDB. It's CMDB insta admin. The users with the role CMDB insta admin will be able to access SGC Central in CMDB workspace. So when the user comes to CMDB workspace from workspaces, he like this is all the like this is the CMDB workspace which shows up. And when the application is installed, this new tab gets like shown up onto the workspace. So what you are seeing here is the overview page of the connector. So before I come to this, I'll first talk about like how Explore connector page is helpful for the customer. Like here in Explore connectors, the main purpose is to unify the experience. Like what are the connectors which are installed on the instance. They'll customers will be able to see all the installed connectors related to SGC at one place. Uh, Apart from that, if there are any updates available, they get showed up here so that they can make call like and also based on the entitlements, if there are any like, sorry, someone has a question. Okay. So if there are any entitlements available for this customer also, they'll be able to explore it from here directly. So this acts as like entry to the connectors. Once a connector is installed, then in order to onboard the connection, user can click on create connections on dashboard or on the overview page or on all connections pages. So I'll so when they click on create connection, so based on the connector which are installed, we show up all the list of connectors here. For this demo, I will take JAMF as an example because it's having a common flow across multiple connectors what we have observed. So a connector, um, if it is onboarded to SGC Central and if it is CCF, we are going to show create connection. But if at all, if it is not CCF, then clicking on create connection will take back user to the guided setup. uh, and also there can the connectors can be of two types. One, it can support multi instance connections, as well as a connector can only support a single instance connection. So if at all a connector is just a single instance connection supported, then we are going to show a banner. I don't have an example here, but like selecting the connector, we are going to show a banner button here that specifying this is a single instance connector. So once that is done, we'll go ahead with the onboarding of the connection of JAMF. This is a multi-instance connection, and that's why we are not seeing any banner icon, banner here. So once this is done, uh, like once we are clicking on create connection, a playbook which is associated to this JAMF will start trigger. In JAMF, we have something like we have wanted to check a property in the backend system property, and we are going to update it. This step only appears here only when the property is not found or is not having an appropriate value. Only then it shows up. So this kind of rules, this is very specific. This page is very specific to JAMF. Likewise, for any connector, if there is a step which is very specific to the connector, then it's going to show up only when it is needed. And if you click on continue, this property is going to get created into this instance. This is a system property here. JAMF supports two types of connection aliases, connections. Like it has two alias templates which are supported. So one is OAuth and another is a basic one. For this demo, I'll just specify, I'll take basic as an example. So based on the alias template selected in the previous step, we are going to show the values like required here. Mm, yeah. So once we click on create test connection, this uh, the details which are given here are going to be used, and a connection is going to be created. Uh, and a test script is going to be executed so that it verifies the connection is properly establishing, like if the connection is properly establishing between the external system. Once that is done, only then the continue button gets enabled, so that we make sure even before the user goes into the next step, the configuration is done, right? So a connector can have a connection properties also associated to it. So connection properties are very specific to the connection itself, whereas system properties are properties which are associated to a connection, can be common across, like a property associated to a connection system property that can be used across multiple connections, which will impact the multiple connectors, whereas connection properties are something which are very specific to the connection. So here JAMF has two connection properties. So based on the need, and the customer can, like they can refer to the tooltip, and based on the need, they can make the changes. Not every connection has connection properties, but if at all there are any, we are going to show up this connection properties. And most of the connections we observed are having imports schedules. Uh, yeah. So in order to go ahead, at least one of the parent import schedule has to be enabled. Only then we are going to enable continue. So that, yeah. So like, if you see, these are all parent import schedule. Parent import schedules are something that they are not having any parents. Like, so these are called parent import schedules, and at least one of these should be active. I'm going to make this schedule as active here. Uh, so user can specify when they wanted to run this on daily basis or weekly basis. They can specify it like this. So I'm just making it as daily at morning 2 o'clock. We'll have to run it. And also, if they wanted to check if this data, at least if this import schedule is running, they can directly click on execute now, so that this brings in information and see if the transformation is working fine or not. They can do that here. Once these properties are saved, we see that the continue button gets enabled, because the all the required step is done, right? So that's why we have enabled the continue button. Once this is done, um, we we say that the connection is properly onboarded, because this is all it is needed in Java. So ideally, for a connector to be properly onboarded, we'll have to progress through this playbook steps. And once the connection import any of this parent import schedule is active, only then we define it as a connection installed state. So clicking on view all connections, if you see here, so all the connections which are installed on this instance are going to show up here. If you see, there is a connection status and processing status. So what is connection status? Connection status is something like we have a, like every day, every night, we are going to have a scheduled job which is going to trigger to check if the credentials are right. If you are able to connect to the external system, that is going to represent here. So this is going to get updated every night. That I'm okay. This ServiceNow instance is able to connect to the a third-party system using these credentials. That is what is represented here. And what is processing status? Processing status can be like success, pending, or it can be error also. So processing status is that we have a lot of import sets associated to a connection, right? So this represents the last execution status of the import schedule. If at all there are any errors uh, which are occurring, it can be errors with processing, the payload, like getting the payload, processing it, transforming it, and applying the changes. So if at all there is any error, we are going to show up here. But the point to note is that this is representing the last execution context only. This is with respect to last execution context. And also, so here you are able to see the last run. When is this particular connection run last? Not every connection executes every day, right? So based on the import schedule, we are going to see when is this last run. Uh, that is what we are able to see here. So while onboarding a connection, there can like the play it can take few cases. The user can might want to go back and like he can come back to this same instance. He can leave the process, onboarding process there, and he can come back and look to for draft connections here. uh, we have something like a resume setup, and clicking on this, he will directly go to the step where he has left last time. So he'll be able to progress through the playbook where he has left from this step. So this is all about the installed and draft connections. So in integration hub, ETL, this page, we are going to show in uh, all the transformation related details here. This apart from like clicking on this, we'll go to the integration hub ETL homepage. Um, apart, So the main insight, a user, once the connection is already onboarded, if he wants to keep track of the daily activities, this page, overview page, is going to be helpful for the customer. So here it is going to give a proper idea of what is happening in the instance. Like on the connection overview page, connection overview tab, we are going to have like connection status, processing status, and ongoing executions. So connection status is like I mentioned, it is like it is going to if the credentials are good enough so that we can connect to the external system. That is what it is showing up here. If at all there are any errors, it is going to bring up the error summary here. Um, Here we'll be able to see what are the success number of connections having in success ratio, as well as errors are unknown. And in processing status, here we'll be able to see the like the last processing status, and what are like if at all there are any errors, like how many of the import sets data sources got failed. That is those are going to show up here. How many are processed? How many are successful? So these are total number of these are total number of active schedules. Amongst this, how many are processed, and amongst this processed, like how many are successed and how many are errored out. So this is the stats. Clicking on this, the user can go get more details. Like if at all there are any errors, so he can identify which all import schedules are erroring. That's what he will be able to see it from here. Okay, which data source, which import schedule, and like what is the import set, and all that one he'll able to see it here. If at all there are any errors associated to it, which are will be summarizing that and showing up here. uh, I can bring up a screenshot of, as of now I do not have any um, connections which are having errors, but I can bring up a screenshot so that how like the error looks like in the instance, and how Navasis can help you diagnosis error. That one we can see. Apart from this, we have this ongoing execution. What it says is that right now, at this particular instance, what are all the connections which are executed right now? So four connections are being executed right now. So that the information related to it will be shown up here, like since how much time it is being running is what it's showing up here. So in the later, we have really good insights into how what is the data which is being pulled and all. So here in uh, clicking on this card, it's going to bring up the trend of the count of import sets which are successful, which are partially executed, which are errored. That all information we are going to see based on the number of connectors or onboarded or deboarded. Like this is going to be affected. So this like on each day it is going to show the number of success or partial or error import sets. Likewise here in import rows, like how many import rows, like like with these import sets are going to bring in like import rows, so how many of them are being retrieved is what is showing. So if you see, this is the number which is applied on this filter. So this filter is like if you wanted to just see about AWS, then we can select this, and all this dashboard is going to reflect only connections details which are specific to AWS. Or if a user wants to just concentrate on one particular connection, they can also do that by like selecting the connections. This is a connector, this is a connection. So specifying the connections, this data is going to just show that, so that they can narrow down the scope, like concentrating on one particular connection. Likewise, they can also do it with the data source, and also this information what you are seeing is from the last 7 days. So they can also change the date so that they can concentrate on that. So this is also helpful in order to identify, like pinpoint some errors which are specific to a particular connections they are looking for. Once these are the import rows. Once these import rows are processed, right, there can be like inserts or updates which can happen onto the CI tables. This is the number which is representing it. So past in the previous days, there are like 114 records which are got inserted and 459 records got updated. So this is the trend it's going to show up. Like it is also going to show up on what CI class how many records have been updated and inserted. That's going to show up here. Along with this is one critical information, which is like partial and incomplete CIs. Like if at all there is a if you click on here, it's like it says if a record is like whenever the data is being imported, if there is a partial payload or incomplete payload is there, this is going to show up because this can represent the like uh, so if this is not a good sign, like having partial or incomplete cs, right, this is not a good sign, meaning we need to concentrate that okay, there is some problem with this kind of payload which is coming in, that so that you can pinpoint to it. So this is helpful dashboard. Apart from this, we have data processing performance also. It's like we can see the trend of CIs and error, like CIs which got updated, inserted, and errors, how many errors we have got. The trend will be recorded, will be shown up here. Likewise, what is the processing time? It is going to show up the top 10 uh, top 10 connectors who's taking like last execution is higher in, like it's taking more if a connector is taking more time to process, then it is going to show up. This is the top 10 connections which are showing up here. Likewise, if there are any connections which are having more errors, it's going to show up here because I do not have any errors in this instance. That's why it's not showing up. It's very similar to this thing. It's going to show up how many errors from which connection. That all that is going to show up here. So all this information we are showing up here is all collected from a scheduled job which runs nightly. So these scheduled jobs are something like SGC central collection. So every night, there are a set of PA indicators which are going to collect the information from multiple tables, and that is all which is getting shown up here. So if customer is having some reaching out to us saying that okay, this data is not showing up here, we have to make sure that like after just installation, we'll have to wait for this connector to be run. Sorry, we have to wait for the scheduled job to run, and all these indicators are accumulating this information. That one will have to make sure. Uh, if at all, okay, if you don't want to wait until this job is getting run, we have something like on demand with look back. What is this going to do up? This is going to one you can directly execute this one. This is a on demand schedule on demand job which is going to bring in information to populate on the dashboard. So here if you see, it is going to bring in the last 30 days of the uh, it's going to look back for last 30 days from today, and it's going to populate bring in all the information related. That's how this dashboard gets loaded. Apart from this, I would like to also talk about this connect settings tab. So in settings tab, there can like we are going to show like based on the connectors got installed on the instance. If at all there are any system properties grouped under a particular connection, we are going to show up here. Let's say this AWS. AWS is having 29 connect system properties. Uh, so that is all what we are showing it up under AWS, like here. So that the user can directly change it here. Because the system properties are coming from this, we are having a view to manage that at single place. So with this, we have from Explorer, like SGC Central helps a user explore a new connector, onboard a new connection with playbooks, so that we have this hard and fast rules, like if the configuration is done right or not. That way we are going to minimize the um, customer support cases we are going to get in. And we are so and also once the connection is onboarded, the user can monitor what is happening in this, like what is the data coming in, and all that monitoring he'll be able to see it up there. And properties also they'll be able to edit it. So once the connection is onboarded, let me also take you to, like, if at all they wanted to concentrate on one particular connection, so clicking on any of this connection name, they will be going into this connection, and they can always go edit their connection properties based on the need they are having. So in AWS, we are having something like diagnostic tools also, when they can run new diagnostic tests, so that it is going to bring in all the report associated to the connection. If at all there are any errors for a particular connection, we are going to, this is the list of the errors which are going to show up.
Thank you all for watching our demo today. We hope you now have a clear understanding of how SG Central helps you manage your Service Graph connectors. We are continuously evolving SG Central to meet your needs. Stay tuned for future updates to our store releases.